The man you fear to be is actually the man you were born to become. You don't fear failure. You fear responsibility. You fear discipline. You fear standing out. And that fear is keeping you weak. You already know what you need to do, but you avoid it. You avoid the truth because deep down, you know that becoming that man means no more excuses. There's a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and fearless. But you're afraid to meet him because meeting him means admitting you've been holding yourself back. Most people fear fire because they think it will destroy them. But fire is only dangerous if you let it consume you. The same is true for your potential. Every man, at some point in his life, will stand face to face with the version of himself that terrifies him. Not because that version is weak or incapable, but because it is powerful beyond measure. That version of you demands more. That version of you expects more. That version of you refuses to let you hide in comfort. And yet, most people run from that version of themselves. They shrink. They settle. They choose a life that is safe. A life where they don't have to push beyond their fears. Where they don't have to take responsibility. Where they don't have to step into the unknown. But let me ask you this. Is that really living? Do you feel truly alive when you're constantly avoiding the man you're meant to be? When you play small to avoid discomfort? When you reject growth because it demands too much from you? What if I told you that the very thing you fear the most, the stronger, bolder, more disciplined version of you, is the person you were always meant to become? This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about removing the limits you've placed on yourself. It's about embracing the power you've been avoiding. So why do we resist stepping up? Why do we avoid becoming stronger, more disciplined, more capable? Because growth is painful. When you change, you don't just improve, you destroy the old version of yourself. The habits, the excuses, the comfortable weaknesses, they all have to die. And that is terrifying. You fear success because it comes with responsibility. You fear confidence because it invites judgment. You fear discipline because it forces you to confront your laziness. You fear strength because it means you can no longer hide behind excuses. It's easier to stay the same. It's easier to keep doing what you've always done. But what's easier is not what makes you fulfilled. What's comfortable is not what makes you strong. And deep down, you already know this. The power of becoming who you're meant to be. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was not always the confident, successful man the world sees today. When he first came to America, he barely spoke English. He was a nobody, just another immigrant trying to make it. But he had a vision of the man he wanted to become. Most people in his position would have played it safe, stayed in their comfort zones, taken the easy road. But Arnold did the opposite. He embraced discomfort. He trained harder than anyone else. He pushed past his limits. He refused to let fear dictate his future. His transformation from a struggling bodybuilder to a Hollywood star, and later a governor, wasn't luck. It was the result of him becoming the man he once feared. Disciplined, ambitious, relentless. Had he stayed in his comfort zone, had he allowed fear to hold him back, he would have remained unknown. Instead, he built a legacy. Who is the man you fear to be? That man you fear to be. He is not some distant, unrealistic fantasy. He is already inside you. But he's buried under layers of fear, doubt, and hesitation. So let's break it down. What does this version of you actually look like? He is disciplined. He doesn't rely on motivation. He shows up and does the work no matter how he feels. He is confident. He doesn't shrink himself to make others comfortable. He speaks his truth without fear. He is resilient. He doesn't quit at the first sign of difficulty. He pushes through discomfort because he knows that's where growth happens. He takes responsibility. He doesn't blame circumstances, people, or luck. He owns his actions, choices, and results. He is fearless in the face of judgment. He doesn't let the opinions of others dictate his life. The reason you fear this version of yourself is because stepping into him means letting go of everything weak, passive, and safe, and that's not easy, but it's necessary. So how do you do it? How do you step into the strongest, most capable version of yourself? Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the right time to change. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for life to make it easy for you. It won't. Start taking action. Wake up earlier. Take responsibility for your choices. Speak up when you have something to say. Challenge yourself daily. Small actions, done consistently, create unstoppable momentum. Every time you push beyond your limits, you get stronger. Do what scares you. Face challenges instead of avoiding them. Put yourself in situations where you might fail. Learn to enjoy struggle, because that's where true growth happens. Fear of judgment is one of the biggest things holding you back. But here's the truth. People's opinions don't matter. They're too busy worrying about themselves to think about you. Those who judge you negatively are often insecure themselves. The only person's approval you need is your own. Once you free yourself from caring about what others think, you become unstoppable. If you don't step up, if you don't become the man you fear to be, what happens? You stay stuck in mediocrity. You watch others succeed while you remain the same. You let fear dictate your life instead of taking control of your destiny. History is full of people who stayed in their comfort zones and never reached their full potential. The world never got to see their greatness. Not because they lacked talent, not because they didn't have the potential, but because they lacked the courage to step up. Will you be one of them? The choice is yours. At the end of the day, the choice is simple. Stay the same and live with regret. Step up, face your fears, and become the man you were born to be. The man you fear to be is not your enemy. He is not a threat. He is your potential. And the only thing standing between you and him is the decision to stop running and start becoming. This journey will not be easy. It will be painful. It will be uncomfortable, but it will be worth it. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop running? Because the only thing worse than fear is regret.